Did you know that just one leaf from a common plant could put your life at risk? It sounds exaggerated, but it is completely true. And the most disturbing part is not their toxicity. It is that you probably have one of them in your living room, your garden, or your office right now without knowing it. Today you are going to discover the 9 most dangerous plants you should never bring into your home. Plants that garden centers sell with no warning whatsoever. Plants that can kill within hours. And plants that, for some reason, almost nobody talks about. The number 6 is one of the most common in the world. Millions of people have it, and very few know the risk it hides. I have spent years among gardens, nurseries, and botanical collections, and there is something that always surprises me: the enormous number of toxic plants sold without a single warning. Organizations like the ASPCA, Poison Control, and the Royal Horticultural Society confirm it. Many of these species can seriously harm both people and pets, and yet they remain on the shelves. This information can change forever the way you choose plants, and in some cases it can save a life. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Your support helps this content reach more people who need it. Oleander, the shrub that kills horses and nobody removes from public parks. If you live in a city with a warm climate, you have already seen it. It grows in highway medians, school gardens, and neighborhood squares. It is so common, it has become invisible, and that invisibility is exactly its greatest danger. Oleander is one of the most widely planted ornamental shrubs in the world, and also one of the most lethal. Every single part of this plant is poisonous. Leaves, flowers, stems, roots, and even the smoke it produces if you burn it. It contains cardiac glycosides, the same compounds used in controlled doses in heart medications. In the natural plant, the concentration is unpredictable. A single leaf can be lethal for a small child. And here is what nobody tells you: the toxicity does not disappear when the plant dries out. Pruned branches, thrown into a pasture, remain just as deadly weeks later. In California, there are documented cases of horses that died after ingesting oleander cuttings left in fields. Veterinary hospitals issue alerts every summer. Pediatricians warn every pruning season. Symptoms in people appear between 30 minutes and a few hours after ingestion: nausea, vomiting, blurred vision, irregular heartbeat, and without treatment, cardiac arrest. In pets, the process is even faster. There is no margin for waiting. Safe alternative: hibiscus. Same color, same tropical effect, zero toxicity. Foxglove, the fairy tale flower that stops the heart. You see it in rural gardens, in terrace pots, in bunches of wildflowers. It is so photogenic that it constantly appears in decorating magazines, gardening accounts on Instagram, and beginner plant guides. The reason people recommend it is simple. It is easy to grow and visually stunning. What those guides do not tell you is that any part of this plant can kill you. Foxglove contains cardiac glycosides, the chemical basis of digoxin, a heart medication that doctors administer under strict hospital control, because the line between a therapeutic dose and a lethal dose is extraordinarily thin. In the natural plant, that line does not exist. The concentration varies depending on the leaf, the season, and the specific specimen. There is no way to know how much is too much until it is too late. What concerns toxicologists most is how it acts. Symptoms such as nausea, mental confusion, vision with yellow halos, and severe arrhythmias can take hours to appear. That means the person has already absorbed a significant amount of toxin before the body sounds the alarm. And at that point, the cardiac damage may be irreversible. In the United Kingdom, there are reports of gardeners who suffered severe poisoning simply from handling it without gloves for hours. They did not ingest it. They only touched it. Safe alternative: snapdragon. Same vertical growth, same explosion of color, completely safe. Pothos, the office plant that poisons your cat every time it takes a bite. This is probably the plant in your house. The one on the living room shelf. The one hanging in the kitchen. The one you have in the bathroom because it survives anything. Pothos is the best-selling indoor plant in the world, and there is a very specific reason nurseries love it. It survives with almost nothing and looks good anywhere. What they do not tell you when you buy it is that it contains calcium oxalate crystals, microscopic needle-shaped structures that, when chewed, become embedded in the soft tissues of the mouth and throat. The sensation is like having dozens of microscopic glass splinters lodged in the mucous membranes. The pain is immediate and intense. For cats, who instinctively nibble at hanging leaves, it is one of the plants most frequently involved in emergency calls to poison control centers. And here is the detail almost nobody knows: leaves that have fallen to the floor are just as dangerous as those on the living plant. Oxalate crystals do not degrade. A dry leaf on the floor is still a perfect trap for a cat exploring with its mouth. Additionally, the sap can cause contact dermatitis in people with sensitive skin. Many gardeners who prune it without gloves develop redness and irritation without understanding why. Safe alternative: Boston fern or Tradescantia. Equally easy to grow, equally decorative, certified safe by the ASPCA. Sago palm, the nursery plant that kills dogs with a single seed. You find it at hotel entrances, shopping centers, residential gardens, and nurseries all over the world. It is sold as an elegant, long-lived, easy care plant. It has that exotic look that makes any space seem more sophisticated. And it has no thorns, no warning colors, no strange smell. It looks completely harmless. It is one of the most deadly plants for dogs and cats that exist in the ornamental market. Every part of the sago palm is toxic, but the seeds are the most lethal. They contain psychocin, a toxin that destroys liver cells massively and rapidly. For a dog, biting a single seed can trigger a cascade of organ damage resulting in fulminant liver failure within hours. Symptoms appear between 15 minutes and a few hours after ingestion: violent vomiting, bloody diarrhea, seizures, and progressive liver failure. And the most devastating statistic: even with immediate intensive veterinary treatment, between 50 and 75% of dogs that ingest parts of the sago palm do not survive. The seeds are large, rounded, and come in eye-catching colors, ranging from green to reddish-orange. For a puppy or young dog, they look like toys. Many owners discover what happened when it is already too late. Safe alternative: Areca palm. Same tropical effect, certified non-toxic by the ASPCA. Castor bean. The origin of the planet's most lethal poison grows in some home gardens. It grows in nurseries all over the world. It is sold as a high-impact ornamental plant for its height, its enormous star-shaped leaves, and its theatrical presence. Nobody who sees it for the first time would suspect anything. It looks simply like a very striking tropical plant. Its seeds contain ricin, considered by many toxicologists to be the most potent natural poison in existence. Ricin is a ribosomal toxin that literally shuts down the body's cellular machinery, preventing cells from producing the proteins needed to survive. There is no antidote. Once symptoms appear, doctors can only provide supportive treatment and wait. This is the poison that in 1978 killed Bulgarian journalist Georgi Markov in London via a metal pellet the size of a pinhead fired from a modified umbrella. The same substance that appears in documented domestic terrorism cases in the United States and Europe. And its seeds are in some home gardens right now. Poisoning symptoms can take between 6 and 12 hours to appear, which delays recognition and enormously complicates treatment. By the time the doctor knows what they are dealing with, the damage may already be irreversible. There are documented cases of children who mistook the shiny seeds for candy or decorative beans. In many countries, its cultivation is restricted or outright banned. In others, it continues to be sold in nurseries, with no warning whatsoever. Safe alternative: elephant ear plant. Same enormous leaves, same scenic presence, no toxins. Azalea and rhododendron. The best-selling spring plant can cause a coma. This is number 6. The one we mentioned at the beginning. And if you have a garden, there is a very good chance you have it. Azaleas and rhododendrons are two of the best-selling ornamental plants in the world. They appear in front gardens, terrace pots, public parks, and the shelves of any nursery every spring. Their pink, purple, red, and white flowers are so vibrant, they almost look artificial. They have been a staple of the home garden for decades. Nobody questions them. They contain grey-anotoxins, compounds that directly interfere with the sodium channels of the heart and nervous system. A few chewed leaves, or even a small amount of nectar, can cause nausea, dizziness, dangerously low blood pressure, severe arrhythmias, and in serious cases, a coma. For pets, especially dogs that explore the garden with their mouths, the risk is extremely real. And here is the historical fact that confirms everything. In 67 BC, King Mithridates of Pontus tactically defeated the Roman troops of Pompey by leaving along their path portions of honey produced by bees that had fed on rhododendron nectar. The Roman soldiers consumed it, suffered paralysis, violent vomiting, and severe confusion, and were slaughtered while incapacitated. It is one of the first documented uses of natural toxins for military purposes. The plant in your garden has been dangerous for millennia. Safe alternative: camellias or viburnum. Equally showy, equally hardy, with no toxins. Lily, the world's most gifted flower, is a silent killer for cats. It is in wedding bouquets, in Christmas centerpieces, in Easter floral arrangements, in the bouquets taken to funerals, in spring pots at any nursery. The lily is one of the most sold and gifted flowers on the planet, and its classic beauty means that nobody, absolutely nobody, stops to think about the risk it represents. For cats, it is one of the most lethal dangers that can enter a home. The animal does not need to bite a leaf. Simple contact with the pollen, which can settle on the fur during a curious stroll through the room and then be ingested during normal grooming, is enough to trigger acute kidney failure. Even drinking the water from a vase where cut lilies have been sitting can be fatal. Within hours, the cat begins vomiting, loses its appetite, and becomes lethargic. Without emergency treatment within the first 18 hours, most do not survive. 18 hours. That is all the time there is. Every holiday season, veterinary clinics treat heartbreaking cases from owners who had no idea. They placed a bouquet of lilies in the center of the table, went to work, and came home to find their cat in crisis. Some arrived in time, many did not. The recommendation from veterinarians specialized in toxicology is absolute. If you have cats, no type of lily should ever enter your home. Ever. Safe alternative: Phalaenopsis orchids or roses. Equally elegant, completely safe. Mistletoe. The Christmas tradition that poisons children every December. Every December the same thing happens. People hang it in doorways and hallways as part of a centuries-old tradition, not knowing that those small, translucent white berries are toxic to both people and animals. And every December, poison control centers record the same spike in calls related to this plant. Mistletoe berries contain lectins and viscotoxins, compounds that inhibit cellular protein production and can cause cardiac toxicity. Ingested in quantity, they produce nausea, intense vomiting, abdominal pain, dangerously low blood pressure, and heart rhythm disturbances. For children under 5 years old, who might mistake those shiny berries for something edible, the risk is especially high. The problem is that mistletoe is so strongly associated with the joy of Christmas that nobody perceives it as a threat. It is hung within everyone's reach, berries fall to the floor, and children and pets have it literally within arm's reach or mouth's reach. Calla lily, the most elegant wedding flower, burns your pet's throat within minutes. You see it at every wedding, in luxury event centerpieces, in hotel lobbies, in designer flower bouquets given as gifts for special occasions. The calla lily is the flower of elegance, and that is precisely why nobody suspects it. It contains calcium oxalate in high concentrations throughout the entire plant. When chewed, it releases microscopic needle-shaped crystals that immediately become embedded in the soft tissues of the mouth and throat. The reaction is almost instantaneous: intense burning, tissue swelling, difficulty swallowing, and in serious cases, difficulty breathing. For cats, the reaction is especially severe. The swelling can be so intense that the animal cannot eat or drink normally for days. And because the calla lily arrives in homes during festive occasions, nobody is thinking about the veterinarian when they place it in the vase. It is a plant bought for its beauty in a moment of joy, and that can turn that same moment into an emergency. Safe alternative: Phalaenopsis orchid or gardenia. Equally sophisticated, completely safe for the whole family. Honorable mentions. You thought you had seen it all, but these plants are not on the main list, and that is exactly the problem. They are equally dangerous, equally common, and you probably have some of them nearby without knowing it. Hydrangea. You see it all over social media. On Instagram, on Pinterest, in the most photographed gardens in the world. Its enormous ball-shaped flower clusters in blue, pink, white, and lilac look completely harmless. But its leaves and buds contain cyanogenic compounds that release cyanide in the body. For a small child or a low-weight pet, the margin is much smaller than most people think. And nobody who buys it knows this. Monkshood, also known as the queen of poisons. Its deep blue or dark purple flowers are so magnificent that it is sold in nurseries for formal gardens with no warning. Touching it with bare hands can cause tingling and numbness that spreads from the point of contact. Ingesting even a small amount has proven fatal throughout the entire documented history of humanity. The Romans used it to murder. Medieval physicians feared it. And today anyone can buy it on a Sunday afternoon and plant it next to their front door. Philodendron. You have it climbing up the shelf, hanging in the corner of the living room, decorating the reception area of your office. It contains the same calcium oxalate crystals as pothos and Dieffenbachia. Biting a leaf causes intense burning, swelling, and excessive drooling in pets and children. A plant that nobody watches because nobody suspects it. Dumb cane, known as Dieffenbachia. It is called dumb cane for a very specific reason. Its victims are temporarily unable to speak. The calcium oxalate crystals it contains cause such intense inflammation in the tongue and throat that in serious cases, hospitalization is required to keep the airways open. It is one of the best-selling indoor plants in the world. It is in offices, hospitals, schools, and homes across the entire planet. And it is sold with not a single warning. Wisteria. In spring, it covers facades and pergolas with hanging clusters of lilac flowers that look like something from a painting. It is one of the most photographed plants of the season. What nobody shows in those photos are the seed pods that hang after flowering, perfectly within reach of children playing in the garden. All parts of wisteria are toxic, especially those pods, which contain lectins capable of causing nausea, vomiting, intense abdominal pain, and severe gastroenteritis. Daphne, its deep pink flowers, appear in the middle of winter, before the leaves even sprout, making it one of the most eye-catching plants of the cold season. Its red berries are so bright that a small child could easily mistake them for something edible. Just a few berries can be lethal for a small child. The entire plant contains mesarine and daphnoxin, compounds that cause blisters in the mouth and esophagus, seizures, and organ failure. It is one of the most dangerous plants in European gardens, and almost nobody talks about it. Emergency protocol. Remember, in some of these cases the window is hours, minutes, even. What you are about to read may be the most important part of this entire video. If the person poisoned is you or someone in your family, stay calm. Do not induce vomiting unless a medical professional expressly tells you to. In some cases, it can worsen the situation by re-exposing the esophagus to the toxin. Call your country's poison control center immediately. Provide as much information as possible: the name of the plant, which part was ingested, the approximate amount, and the time elapsed. If there is difficulty breathing, loss of consciousness, or seizures, do not call. Go directly to the emergency room or call emergency services. Every minute counts. If your pet is the one poisoned, do not wait to see whether the symptoms get worse. In cases like lily poisoning in cats or sago palm in dogs, waiting can be the difference between life and death. Call your veterinarian or the nearest emergency veterinary service immediately. Bring a photo or sample of the plant. Correctly identifying it can speed up treatment and save your animal's life. Never try to treat plant poisoning with home remedies you have seen online. Giving milk, oil, salt, or inducing vomiting without veterinary guidance can seriously worsen the situation. What works for one type of poisoning can be lethal for another. Protocols exist for a reason. Follow them. How to protect your home, starting today. Audit the plants you already have. Make a complete inventory of all the plants in your home and garden. For each one, look up the scientific name in the ASPCA database, the Poison Control Portal, or apps like PlantNet or Picture This, which identify plants from a photo in seconds. Do not rely on the common name. The same name can refer to species with completely different toxicity levels. Establish safe zones. If you have children under 8 years old or pets with free access to the house, define zones where only plants certified as non-toxic are allowed. Many dangerous plants can stay in your home if placed in completely inaccessible locations. Closed high shelves, rooms with doors always kept shut, or fenced gardens with controlled access. It is not about eliminating plants from your life. It is about managing them intelligently. Know the safe alternatives. For every dangerous plant on this list, there is an equally beautiful and completely safe alternative. Areca palm instead of sago palm. Orchids instead of lilies. Hibiscus instead of oleander. Boston fern instead of pothos. Lavender, sunflowers, roses, marigolds, African violets. Plants that fill any space with life, without putting anyone at risk. Find out before you give a gift. A bouquet of lilies is a beautiful gift for someone without cats. For someone with a feline at home, it can be a tragedy. Before giving flowers or plants as a gift, ask whether the recipient has pets or small children. That question takes 5 seconds and can prevent an emergency. Use gloves and wash your hands. When handling any plant you do not know well, use gloves. Always wash your hands after pruning, repotting, or simply touching the leaves. Avoid touching your eyes or mouth while working in the garden. Some toxins, like those in foxglove or monkshood, can be absorbed through the skin. Plants can fill your home with life, color, and well-being. This is not about giving them up or living in fear every time you walk into a nursery. It is about choosing with information. Nobody buys a poisonous plant with bad intentions. They buy it because it is beautiful, because it is trendy, because the seller recommended it without knowing or without saying anything. The problem has never been bad faith. The problem is the widespread ignorance that the industry has no financial incentive to fight. That is why this video exists. That is why this information matters. Now you know which plants can kill within hours. Now you know which ones are in your home without you knowing it. And now you know what almost nobody was going to tell you. That is the difference between a quiet afternoon at home and a night in the emergency room. Share this video with someone who has pets, with someone who has children, with someone who loves plants. It can save a life. And if you want to keep learning about safe gardening, subscribe and hit the bell. See you in the next video.